What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ibetcha Salute The Capper NBA Prop Betting Show. It's your boy, back in the trenches with you, and today we're breaking down an exciting matchup between the Atlanta Hawks and the Golden State Warriors, coming to you live from San Francisco this Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got a lot of interesting angles to look at, and of course, we'll be hitting you with some prop bets and predictions. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's dive into this NBA showdown. Game preview, team overview. Alright, let's set the stage. The Golden State Warriors come into this game sitting pretty at 10-2, second in the Western Conference. They've been on fire, riding a 3-game win streak, and they've looked dominant at home, with a 4-1 record at Chase Center. The Warriors are averaging a solid 118.4 points per game over their last 10, and you know the defense has been doing just enough, holding opponents to 112.9 points per game. On the flip side, the Atlanta Hawks sit at 7-8 and 5th in the Eastern Conference. They've been a bit more up and down this season, with a 3-4 record on the road, and they're struggling a bit in games decided by 10 or more points, with a 2-4 mark in that category. But what stands out with Atlanta is their offense. They're putting up a strong 116.1 points per game. But they're also giving up 117.5 points, so that tells you this could be a high-scoring affair. Key matchups. Now, let's get into the key players to watch. For the Warriors, you know Stephen Curry is going to be the focal point. He's been averaging 22.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 6.4 assists per game, with 2 steals to boot. We know Curry can light it up from deep, but what's been really impressive this season is his ability to impact the game in other areas, whether it's running the offense, grabbing boards, or locking down defensively. And of course, don't forget about Kevin Looney in the frontcourt. He's averaging 8.4 rebounds per game, and with Golden State's team leading 48.7 rebounds per game, they're one of the best in the league at crashing the boards. Looney's presence down low will be critical, especially with Atlanta's young bigs looking to compete in the paint. On the Hawks side, all eyes are on Trae Young, of course. He's been the engine that drives this team, averaging 22.6 points and 4.0 rebounds per game. But what really stands out with Young is his playmaking. He's averaging over 10 assists per game and can break down any defense with his vision and court awareness. But Young's not the only weapon on the Hawks. Atlanta's got some depth, with DeAndre Hunter, Jay Johnson who is listed as out for tonight's game, and Clint Capella all contributing on both ends of the floor. Capella, in particular, will be crucial when it comes to rebounding, as he'll be battling Looney and Draymond Green for those extra possessions. Prop bets and player performance. Now, let's get into some prop betting angles. This game is shaping up to be a high-scoring matchup with 2 potent offenses going head-to-head, so let's start with some player props. First up, Stephen Curry's points total. Now, with Curry averaging 23.0 points per game, and this game likely to feature a lot of scoring, I'm leaning toward the over on his points total. The Hawks' defense has been suspect this season, especially on the perimeter, and Curry is always capable of going off for a 30-plus point night. My bet here is definitely over on Curry's points. Next, let's talk about Trae Young's assists. The Warriors are known for their ball movement, but they also leave themselves vulnerable at times, especially when defending ball screens. I think Trae will have his hands full setting up teammates, and with his playmaking ability, the over on 9.5 assists is looking pretty solid. The Hawks need him to create, and I expect him to flirt with a double-double. Finally, let's talk about the total points for the game. We know the Warriors can score in bunches, and the Hawks aren't afraid to put up points either. With Golden State averaging 118.4 points in their last 10, and the Hawks averaging 115.4, I'm leaning towards the over on the total points for the game. This one could hit the 230 mark easily. Injuries and final thoughts. Before we wrap things up, let's touch on some injuries. The Warriors are dealing with some question marks, with Kevin Looney and DeAnthony Melton both listed as day-to-day. Looney's status could impact their rebounding edge, so definitely something to watch. For the Hawks, Vit Krejci is listed as day-to-day with an adductor issue, and Cody Zeller is out for personal reasons. Krejci's absence isn't huge, but Zeller being out does hurt their depth a little, especially on the bench. So, what's the bottom line? The Warriors are favorites, but the Hawks have the firepower to keep things close, especially if Trae Young is dialed in. If the Warriors get their usual production from Curry and Lue,